Okay, what about now? I think we're okay. There's a little I think we are okay. APPI, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Has it been resolved? Testing, 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 testing. Oh my goodness. Fantastic. Omkar, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we are back. Let me drop in the chat now. Most engaged viewer today gets a free 5K 3-step challenge. Okay, we're going to start over. We're going to pin this message. I'm sorry for the back and forth. I don't know what the heck happened. Super annoying when that doesn't work. So, if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. I'll go back and forth. Hopefully, some more people show up after all of that technical difficulty. But I appreciate Omkar the understanding. So we are going to get right into it. As I was to myself clearly, since nobody could hear me, gold has been taking souls. Gold was terrible yesterday. Gold was terrible the day before, and gold is not doing well today either, down 1.6%. And this is just a week after we had what was essentially a reverse run on banks. You saw on Twitter everyone around the world posting these massive lineups at these gold shops, trying to buy gold, trying to sell gold, silver, you name it. It's been getting destroyed. Worst day, worst day since 2013 was yesterday. So just absolutely insane. I think $1 trillion of market cap was lost. You could see from all-time highs, we dropped as low as 8.5%. Right now, we're about 7.3% down from the all-time high. So it's been getting absolutely destroyed. Black screen, now can't see you. Hold on, that'll probably just take a second to refresh. Man, all sorts of technical difficulties this morning, but I appreciate you guys being patient. It should come. It should refresh because I can see it. My mic's moving. Just let me know now visible. Okay, perfect. Sometimes there's just a lag there. So we're down 7.3% from the all-time highs, and we dropped as low as 8.5%. So what the hell is going on with gold? Excuse my language. Worst day since 2013. A couple of things are going on. One, profit taking. Okay, gold is up 60% year to date. It's normal for people to close their positions. It's normal for people to cash out. But everybody freaks out. Retail got absolutely destroyed with this move. I mean, gold can't go up forever. It's made history the entire year. So that's one reason. Good old profit taking. Number two, we had a little bit of a shift yesterday to risk on sentiment. So remember, gold is for Armageddon. Gold is for people that are losing confidence in the dollar. But yesterday, the Dow Jones actually hit an all-time high. If I pull that guy up here, we're going to talk about it. Dow Jones, another all-time high, up 10.6% year to date. So that was thanks to the Coca-Cola earnings. So again, just a little bit of a shift from risk off, aka holding gold, to wanting to be a little bit more risk on. But ultimately, I mean, sure, you could say a little bit of easing of geopolitical tensions. You know, the trade war with China, the deadline is November 1st. We spoke about that a lot yesterday. So we're not going to get really any news. It's probably going to be a nothing burger. We probably won't have anything major until November 1st. So that played a factor too, but ultimately it really is just good old-fashioned profit taking. And unfortunately, retail just got absolutely burned. Um, so, it's tough. But today, I want to go over a handful of things because the market right now is moving like crazy and there is a ton of opportunity out there. But we have to understand what's actually going on. So, we're going to go through this. I'm going to pull up the charts. We'll pull up Twitter. We'll pull up all sorts of stuff, see what's going on in the world, where the opportunities are. And if you guys have questions, most engaged subscriber, I'm feeling generous today. Most engaged subscriber will get a 5K 3-step challenge today. So if you have questions, I'll go back to the chat and we can take a look at that. So all that to say, gold crashes, Coke pops, Netflix flops. We need to talk about Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat is literally insane. It is the rise of the vegans again. Beyond Meat is doing some absolutely insane things. Amazon wants to fire 600,000 workers. Google loses over $100 billion yesterday because of something that ChatGPT is doing. OpenAI, we'll talk about that. And this whale just added to his Bitcoin short. So yesterday, S&P 500 was literally flat, did not move. NASDAQ was down 0.16. Dow Jones was the only index that had, a pretty solid day, 0.47%. And Bitcoin, which we'll also talk about, plus 0.35 at just around $111,000. So worst day since 2013. Flood of profit taking, as we discussed. Risk appetite came roaring back. Stocks held flat. Bitcoin climbed 1%. And a stronger dollar added insult to injury. So that was another one as well. You guys should take a look at this one. Gold investors rotating into Bitcoin in real time. Pretty interesting chart how Bitcoin rose 3.16% there, whereas gold dropped 4.72%. And people have been calling for this. They've been saying gold has front run the move, and it's only a matter of time until Bitcoin catches up. We're not really seeing that this morning, but potentially long term, that is what could be happening. So remember, it's not a panic, it's a rotation, and it's that mindset of just freaking out, which is why retail traders never really make that much money. Remember, when safe havens crash and crypto rallies, you're in a risk-on world. So if you're watching this, the whole point of looking at the news, of understanding what's going on, is to determine, are we in a risk-on or a risk-off environment? Because that's going to dictate which assets are going to move which way. Okay, so don't confuse that with stability. The market mood can change faster than my wife's Netflix choices. Okay, more than $1.8 trillion was wiped out of the gold market cap, almost 80% of Bitcoin's market cap. That's so crazy. That is literally so crazy, and it goes to show just how early we are in Bitcoin. So that's absolutely wild. Let's take a look at Coca-Cola. Fun fact about me that a lot of people don't believe, but it is true. I'm 26 years old, and I have never had a Coke in my life. I've never had a soft drink in my life. So, now on my YouTube videos, you can comment about that, and you have insider information now. But it's true. I've never had a soft drink in my life, but the market has been drinking lots of Coca-Cola because it popped 6% yesterday on really strong earnings. And it's for this reason that the Dow Jones climbed. So again, you're probably wondering, dude, I trade pound yen. I trade pound US. What the heck do I care about Coke? You care about it because the Dow Jones hit an all-time high because of Coke. And if the Dow's hitting an all-time high, that means we're in a risk-on environment, which means maybe you don't want to be buying the yen. Maybe you don't want to be buying the US dollar, as an example. Maybe you want to be buying the CAD. Maybe you want to be buying the Aussie dollar. Okay, so the Dow Jones hit an all-time high on Tuesday, thanks to, wait for it, Coca-Cola. The company smashed expectations with 5% revenue growth, not because of me. 30% earnings per share jump, and its 21st consecutive earnings beat. That's pretty incredible. So Dow Jones climbed to a record. So again, why do we care? Strong consumer staples mean America is still buying, even if it's just sugar water. So again, it's not like really strong Apple's earnings where people are dropping $1,000 on a phone. Coke, it's not that expensive. But again, it's also fueling a rotation to old school value names over shiny tech darlings. Okay, so that one's important. What's also important is Netflix. Okay, Netflix is very important. Netflix is not part of the Mag 7. Don't clip me and repost that. Is Netflix part of the Mag 7? I don't know. It might be. It might be part of the Mag 7. I'm not sure. But the reason we watch Netflix is because they're absolutely massive. And when you have a massive company that reports earnings, if they show weakness, it will drop the entire index. Today we have Tesla reporting earnings. Okay, and so if Tesla comes out with really weak earnings, the entire index, the entire Nasdaq, the S&P could tank because it shows, hey, people are tightening their wallets. Consumers aren't feeling so hot. They're not ordering as many cars as they anticipated, aka weaker economy. Okay, so it's important that we watch these major stocks because that's, again, going to dictate what the market does and what risk sentiment is. So Netflix, in terms of their revenue, came in as expected, but they had a massive earnings per share miss. Now, you would think, based on what I just said to you, that this would crash the entire index. Now, we're not talking about a 5% crash, but we're talking about, a sell-off. Huge miss. That did not happen though. As I shared above, the S&P 500 was flat, the Nasdaq was essentially flat. The reason for this, okay, revenue is up 17% year over year. The reason for this drop, yeah, massive drop, is because of an issue that is going on in Brazil. They have some Brazil tax drama. It's not a business problem, it's a tax problem in Brazil, and that's costing them a lot of money. And so that's why we always need the context. That's why we need to understand, well, why did they actually miss? And I believe it's for this reason that the market didn't sell off, because it didn't say, "Oh, Netflix missed earnings because the company's not doing well because consumers are unsubscribing to save $8." It's really because of this tax drama. So that's what's going on with Netflix. They missed earnings, and the stock did sell off. I'm not interested in buying Netflix, but you can do your own research. It's a cool stock to follow. The only thing I have to tell you if you're here is Lark Funding, last 10% discount of 2025, October 10. Good on all programs, no consistency rules, no news restrictions. We've been in business for over 3 years, and we have some major changes coming. One of those changes is not having any discount code. So if you want the last 10% off of 2025, this is the code that you want to use. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat, and I'll get to those in a little bit. Let's make sure that everything is still going. Cameras on, mics working. That is good. So, Beyond Meat. We have to talk about Beyond Meat. I told you a little bit of insider information. I've never had a Coke before. Another little bit of insider information. If you go to my old YouTube videos, I look deathly. I look sick. This was like 3-4 years ago. It's because I was vegan. I was vegan for 2 years. I bought into the propaganda. I ate Beyond Meat. And I remember somebody telling me 2020, 2021, Beyond Meat was at like $180 a share. And I said, oh, you know what? You should buy some Beyond Meat stock. Praise the Lord that I did not buy that stock, which was around $170 USD. And since then, it has dropped 97.89%. Now, the reason it has not dropped 99% is because of what has happened over the last 5 days, which is insane. 360% in the last 5 days. 360%. Just for a moment. In your head, how much money do you have? Imagine multiplying that by 3.6 in 5 days. Not becoming twice as rich, right? Not doubling the money in your bank account in 5 days, but tripling it. Oh, more than tripling it in 5 days, which is insane. And I spoke about this yesterday, and I said, you know what? I'm not buying. I'm not getting into this hysteria. The company itself is not doing well at all. But man, yesterday, it's not open now. It was like 140%. Oh, could have made an insane amount of money. Beyond Meat expands distribution at Walmart. It did not climb because of this. This was just like a minor catalyst that helped it. Just because it's getting short squeezed. If you remember the GameStop drama, this is what's going on with Beyond Meat. Okay, it exploded another 146% yesterday, bringing its 2-day run to a mind-bending 360%, all thanks to a short squeeze so violent it can make AMC blush. Here's the play. Over 60% of Beyond Meat's float was shorted. Okay, so classic short squeeze. Another thing that happened, which was a huge catalyst on Monday, a new meme ETF added it on Monday. So I don't know what the meme ETF is. Sometimes I do some degenerate trading. I'm not that degenerate, so I don't know the name of the new meme ETF. But then Walmart also announced they'll expand Beyond's plant-based lineup to 2,000 plus stores. Who's eating this anymore? Like, if you look at Google Trends for vegan, it's like down massively. Vegan. It's nobody's vegan anymore. Look at this. Hold on. This is, well, I don't want the past day. Give me like the past 5 years. It's going to be a downward chart. Okay, it's not as violent as I thought. Let's do this guy. Okay, it's down. The peak was in 2019, right before COVID, and we're down since. We're back at, 2015 levels. I just don't know who's eating this. I just don't know who is buying this sort of stuff. But that is besides the point. What traders should watch moving forward? Because I'm less interested in eating it and I'm more interested in making money. So check tickers with high short interest. This often bleeds over. We saw that with GameStop of other stocks that have a really, really high short interest. Keep an eye on that. Meme ETF flows and sentiment swing. So absolutely insane. So crazy. Okay, we've had a bunch of stocks do some really, really crazy things. So let's take a look at what all of these stocks are doing. Let me take a look at the chat. Who is going to win? Who is going to win that three step 5K challenge? I'm looking at all of what is the motto of Pip Munch? Motto as in like, yeah, there's no like motto. Do you think of adding Lark funding link in your bio? It should. I mean, the Lark funding link, if you need it, is this guy here. And you guys should also be subscribed to Pip Munch because it's completely free. So how did you get that star? Number one. Oh, that's interesting. Omar. Very, very interesting. All right. So let's continue moving on. Google got smoked. So Google lost over $100 billion in market cap after OpenAI announced it's launching its own browser, ChatGPT Atlas. Sam Altman clearly woke up and chose violence and search market share. So Google did not do well on this news. You can see here the drop right here from 257 down to 246. It doesn't seem like a big drop, but because the market cap is over $3 trillion, it was $100 billion. So again, just this idea that they're going to be losing market share because of AI. And I think it's a justified. Amazon announced plans to replace 600,000 human workers with robots by 2033. So you better start full margining Bitcoin before Optimus Prime takes your job. That's pretty wild. 600,000 human workers is pretty crazy. Mattel, the toy maker, flopped this quarter after North American sales tanked. No surprise there. Barbie sales fell double digits. Microsoft, if you're feeling broke, leave the live stream right now because this is going to make you feel even more broke. It did for me at least. Here's a fun stat to ruin your day. Microsoft CEO just got a pay raise to $96.5 million. Insane. DraftKings bought Railbird, a prediction platform that lets you lose money on being wrong in new and exciting ways. Stock popped after hours. Wednesday motivation. Look at this payout from FTMO, $43,442.63. Not too shabby at all. So, what memes do we have today? Gold buyers. Stop loss, stop loss, stop loss. Just brutal. The lion does not concern himself with the little stabbing pain in his chest after consuming 800 milligrams of caffeine. This one I really liked. So posted that one. And then this guy here, we just got a brand new prop account and your first trade puts you in drawdown. That's brutal. That is so brutal. I think we have a couple of other charts that I want to pull up here. This one's really interesting. The Fed versus the S&P 500. So everyone was sharing this during COVID, which is the correlation between the Fed balance sheet and the S&P, with the idea that the more debt that they carry on, the more the debt that they take on, the more that they print, the S&P 500 will continue to rally. And you're starting to see a disconnect here, right? The Fed balance sheet has actually dropped a little bit, but the S&P has continued to rip higher. So just an interesting one to keep in mind. Next up, we have this whale just added to his Bitcoin short. One is super interesting. This one right here. Insider Bitcoin whale adds to Bitcoin short, now short $235 million with 10x leverage. I'm 26. I barely have any hair. Imagine the hair you would lose if you had a $235 million short with 10x leverage. Absolutely insane. His liquidation price is $123,270. So if Bitcoin rises up to that level, lose $235 million, which is absolutely insane. Shall we short squeeze this MFer? Whale short selling. Just insane. That's so massive. You gotta wonder, yesterday we spoke about Barron Trump being worth, what is it now, $150 million and 19 years old. this insider trading that's going on. You've got to wonder if this is somebody in the White House that knows something that we don't. What else do we have here? Stock market concentration is the highest it has been since the 1800s. Information technology and communications stocks now reflect a record 45% of total US market cap. This percentage has doubled in the past 10 years. Tech is now larger than energy and materials, which together accounted for 41%. The last time any industry has such dominance was the transport sector in the 1880s. Technology stocks effectively are the stock market. And we've been talking about this. I spoke about it yesterday. What are we, Wednesday? I spoke about it on Monday. The entire market right now is heavily reliant on AI earnings, on AI growth. Again, I keep coming back to that report we looked at earlier this week. GDP is only 0.1% growth if you remove data centers. If you remove the AI, the data centers, all of that, the economy is essentially flat, which is not what the Fed wants to see. The Fed wants to see all sectors growing together, not just everything relying on one thing. So, yeah, not necessarily so great there. So, what do we have going on in the chat here? Who is going to win that free 5K challenge? Yes, New York is opening in 1 minute. We're going to pull up the charts. Thank you guys for being here. Omar, APPI, Hannah, Omkar. Who else is here? I think that's everybody in the chat. This is going to be the easiest 5K challenge you've ever won in your life. I want to pull up the charts now, see what is going on. So gold is still down 1.85%. Bitcoin dropped overnight to 106, but there was a lot of orders here. There was a lot of support right at that guy. So we had that strong wick there. Again, 100K is going to be the support level. And even here, who knows what's happening? I personally hope it drops, a good buying opportunity. But from a technical perspective, I think obviously you could have shorted it in this daily 100 moving average. Short term, if you pop down to the 30-minute, you could maybe say you draw this fib here. And maybe the 38 could be interesting, but Bitcoin's so volatile. It's such a small area, maybe around this area here could be interesting. Gold 1.59. Where is the gold support? That's the real question. Gold support, we don't have major support until, the 3,500 level, which is a long way down. It is a long way to go. It's like crazy long. So things could get ugly before they get better. That's a long way to go. 15% drop. There's no major support here. So we're probably going to have, some consolidation, sideways movement, drops, rises, back and forth, because the chart itself it's no man's land. It's really where it's at. What else do we have going on? Pound yen. That's a messy chart. Pound yen, again, a pretty strong rise. The yen has been fairly weak with all the risk on sentiment we've had this year. Pound CAD also. The CAD does nothing good. S&P, again, stocks only go up until they don't. We're literally right back at all-time highs. Like, who is buying at these levels? It's just sort of unfathomable. We're like 0.5% away from all-time highs. It's just so crazy. So let me pull up what else is going on in the news here. Gold extends losses after a worst rout in over 12 years. Beyond Meat we looked at. The Fed, Anglo Target, U.S. equities, gold ETF investors who pulled funds last month. NHL becomes first league to strike with Kalshi. No way. That's crazy. No way. Kalshi and Polymarket. That's cool. That's really, really cool. That's cool. Subprime lender, crypto exchange, HTX sued by UK. Okay, let's pop over to why we're no longer offering discounts at Lark Funding. Your life is going to get so much better. My life is going to get so much better. I say it almost every day. If you buy a prop firm challenge with a 20% off discount and next month they run a 30% discount, don't you feel gypped? Don't you feel gypped? I would. And it shows that like they're not actually worth the price that they're listed as. If they're constantly running a 40%, 30%, 50% discount, they're not worth full price. So it's just nothing's more expensive than a cheap prop firm challenge. And look, that's just not in the prop firm industry. Everybody's feeling discount burnout. No more discounts. No more discounts. Stocks, John Deere, Amazon, Apple, auto giant Volkswagen warns of output stoppages. Okay, let's take a look at Twitter and what is going on here. Current state of the market, Google raised $160 billion in 2 hours after OpenAI launched a web browser. That's insane. Platinum suffers biggest decline in 5.5 years. Commodities, metals, they are getting destroyed. I made $1.5 million today. Yeah, on demo. I'm sure you did, buddy. Bitcoin, AWS outage. Alert, the insider whale who profited. Yeah, we looked at that. Gold will never be a store of value. It falls 5% in a single day, and I can't buy coffee with it. It's going to zero. 2.7 million views. That's got to be, that has to be satire. What else do we have going on here? Let me pull up my account. Let me see what we've got cooking here. I saved something. Yeah, Beyond Meat, okay, extends pre-market rally to over 100%. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. 600% in 3 days, guys. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. So that's absolutely wild. On my account, like I said, hey, this prop firm has 50% off right now. Okay, buddy, there's a reason they've got 3.7 on Trustpilot. If you can even manage to get past their consistency rules, good luck getting your payout. There's nothing more expensive than a cheap prop firm. Cheap prop firms make money by keeping yours, not paying it. Yes, correct. 100%. Fair enough, but why don't you at least offer refunds or 50% refunds? You can't offer a great service if you're giving the money back. Your reward is the payout. Your reward is the payout. So that's what I think. So let's see what's going on in the chat here. Saw a clip of Trump discussions with big companies, see each investing in over $500 billion. Yeah, that's I don't know what that is, but that is good for the economy. Obviously, Martin's shortened Beyond Meat. Somebody was telling me that they hate Trump, and the example they gave was this sort of, it wasn't insider trading, this discussion, but it was about the planes that he received from the Middle East. And I said, it's awful how they're now opening an air base, a Saudi air base in the United States as a result of it. And so I looked it up. Of course that's not true. It's a training facility which is still owned by the United States. And there's lots, this is not uncommon. Germany has that. I think Canada has that. Let me see here. Trump got some planes from the Middle East. Do they get their own U.S. military base now in the U.S.? Let me share my screen here. It just goes to show that you can't, dude, everybody just hates for the sake of hating. Look at that. No, Qatar, okay, it was Qatar, not Saudi. That gave them the planes, I guess. Or any Middle Eastern nation has not been given its own U.S. military base, though a related development has led to some confusion. Of course, confusion. The Pentagon announced construction of a Qatari pilot training facility in Idaho. This facility will host Qatari F-15 jets and pilots for joint training with the U.S. Air Force. However, It will be within an existing U.S. base under U.S. command, not an independent foreign base. It will not be a Qatari air base. This follows President Trump's earlier acceptance of a Boeing 747-8 luxury jet from Qatar as a temporary Air Force One replacement. So again, they go, "Oh, he's benefiting. He's benefiting personally. This is corruption." It's literally for Air Force One. He's not getting it personally. When he leaves office, he's not going to get it. The aircraft itself is separate from the Idaho pilot training deal. Public discussions. Okay, are there other countries that have a similar arrangement? Let's see. Yes, several allied nations have long-standing arrangements similar to Qatar's pilot training program in Idaho, NATO in Texas, Singapore, the Netherlands and the United Kingdom, Germany, as I said, Finland and Poland. So it's just like it's so crazy. Sorry guys, the black screen. It'll come back. It's just I don't know. It's so crazy of like, listen, nobody's perfect. Trump's not perfect by any means. Nobody is perfect, but just the hating for the sake of hating, you have to take like everything that he says, everything that he does, and judge it independently, um, and not just hate for the sake of hating. So that's my speech for today. The screen should refresh in a moment, so I won't do anything until you guys can see it. But it looks like Omar, you have number one right now. Not Omkar. You're number two. So the live stream's almost over. Nobody's perfect, but definitely has done so much good for the U.S. economy. Yeah. So yeah, it's the live stream's almost over, and I have to give out. Screen is back. Perfect. Yeah. So like I said, right here, all these countries: Poland, Finland, Germany, Netherlands, UK, Singapore, Euro. It is what it is. So I posted um prize top three. Maybe tomorrow I'll do top three. I did post a new video today, which is probably going to be a pretty juicy one. Here, FTMO hidden rules. This one right here. Does FTMO have hidden rules? So you guys will want to check that one out. Um, yeah, you'll want to check that one out after this live stream. So this is how it's going to work. I appreciate you guys being here. Half an hour in, we're going to wrap it up here. Omar, I'm sorry. I'm unfortunately not going to pronounce your last name correctly. Adruli, I think. But Omar, congratulations. You have won the account. What I need you to do is I need you to send an email to support@larkfunding.com. And then I need you to include a screenshot of your YouTube profile. Just show proof that you're who you say you are, and we will then send you the account. So I appreciate you guys being here. Really, I like doing these live streams, and I really appreciate it. So we'll do this again tomorrow morning. I love doing them. Come with your questions, whether it's macro questions, trading questions, prop firm questions, whatever it is. Come with your questions, and we'll give away some more accounts because you guys are taking time out of your day to be here, and I really appreciate it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Omar, congratulations on the 5K 3-step account. Email us, and I'll send that over your way. Have a great day, guys. Peace.